Emotional abuse from women. Today, mate, I'm giving you 3 signs that your relationship has turned toxic, your partner is behaving in a toxic and abusive way, and you need to get the hell out of there. My name is Oliver, and on this channel I help men overcome people-pleasing and nice guy syndrome to become what? Confident, assertive, authentic and unapologetic in their relationships. I'm 32 now, and over the course of my life I've had a number of relationships, and I would say that 2 of those relationships became emotionally abusive. Not only that, I've been working as a men's coach doing this now for over 4 or 5 years, I don't even know. So I've worked with many men who have struggled with this problem to improve their confidence in their relationships. So the 3 signs I'm giving you today, mate, they don't just coming from my own mind and my own experience, they're also coming from that of my clients. The first sign is something that I call weaponized insecurity. See, the thing is, mate, in the context of a healthy adult relationship that's actually fulfilling, you build intimacy and connection. Intimacy is into me see, which means both of you can drop the mask, the social persona that you wear to the world, and you can actually build an authentic connection with the person behind the mask. This means the other person will get to know your flaws, your imperfections, and your insecurities. That's okay in a healthy relationship. The problem, though, can occur when a relationship turns toxic or emotionally abusive. Those insecurities can be used against you, and they really will be in an emotionally abusive dynamic. Let me give you an example. A past client, let's call him Fred. He was a classic people pleaser, nice guy, right? Which means he felt guilty and selfish for having needs and for engaging in confrontation. He just had this pervasive sense that he didn't want to be selfish like his dad, okay? So he was in a relationship that ended up not satisfying him, not fulfilling him, and he was pushing down a lot of his needs and boundaries. He started communicating those, and his girlfriend at the time responded by calling him selfish. She knew that he was insecure about that. She pressed the selfish button in his mind, and what did he do? He retreated because he didn't want to be selfish, okay? The outcome of this is that she successfully managed to retain control, maintain control, and avoid taking responsibility for her part in the dynamic. So she can basically avoid changing. And what we learned over the course of time was she won't change. She kept on throwing it back at him, even though he was communicating very respectfully about it, accusing him of being selfish, basically for having needs. I call it weaponized insecurity. If you're in a dynamic where this is being used, your insecurities are being used against you, mate, that is not okay under any circumstances, and this is a sign that you should consider opening the door, packing your bag, opening the door, leaving, and not coming back. The second sign is something that I've personally experienced. I've actually gone through this, and I call it the love bombing withdrawal cycle. Now, here's the thing about this. I'll tell my own story. When I was in an emotionally abusive dynamic, what she would essentially do is, I was in this kind of weird addiction cycle where one minute she was super affectionate, super sexual, super sensual, really sort of sweet and kind, and made me feel like $1 million. It was almost like a drug. I felt intoxicated by it. But then, just as quickly, with like whiplash inducing sort of speed, she would then switch it up and be sort of cold, distant, critical, calculated, in some cases nasty. It was like the high of winning the game would then quickly turn into this sort of plummeting self-esteem problem where I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? I can't believe I've upset this woman. Oh my God, how can I win? How can I get the good one, the good version back? The problem with this, mate, is it keeps you in this loop that's it's almost like a manipulation tactic from the other person. In my case, it absolutely was. And the thing is, psychologists call the effect of this in the brain intermittent reinforcement. It's how gambling works. You understand? Have you ever wondered why gambling is so addictive? Gambling is addictive because our brains are hardwired to pay really close attention if the reward is not consistent, right? We're playing a game, we don't know if we're going to win the reward or not. We don't know. So our brains lock in and pay real close attention to that. It's the same deal with rats. They've actually tested this on rats in a controlled experiment. There's a bunch of buttons that rats can push, and did you realize that the button where when a rat pushes it, only gets a treat 1/6 of the time, rats couldn't stop pushing that button. Even compared to a button where the rat gets the treat every single time. It didn't matter. It wasn't about the actual reward, it was about the game being played. Manipulators understand this, and they use it as a way to maintain control. If your partner is being inconsistent with her affections, if she's love bombing you one minute and then cutting you off and being distant and stonewalling you the next, mate, this is a sign that you need to get the hell out of Dodge. And the third sign is overstepping boundaries and then playing the victim when you call it out. So for example, if she looks through your phone, right? Now, in a healthy adult relationship, boundaries are respected and acknowledged and accepted. But let's say she looks through your phone, right? But then when you call this out, she then accuses you of being untrustworthy, right? She accuses you of saying, well, if you didn't have anything to hide, why would you have a problem with it? I actually had a past client who went through something similar to this. She was trying to basically frame a healthy relationship. They had these long-ass discussions about what relationships meant. And she tried to frame the dynamic as a healthy relationship exists when both people share absolutely everything with each other. It shouldn't be a problem if we go through each other's phone, email, etc. And he almost believed her frame. He was almost like, yeah, well, maybe she's right. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's right, man. I don't believe that. That's not what I believe. You do your own relationship, but that sounds like a boundary violation to me. Healthy relationships respect boundaries and privacy, and this is a non-negotiable. If you want to stop being the nice guy, click the link in the description below and sign up for my free 5-day Kill the Nice Guy course via email. Mate, I'll see you in the next video. Stay courageous.